Come to sit upright on your mat to begin this short Yin sequence. With your feet on the ground, snuggle down into your sitting bones, wrap your left arm around your outer shins and twist around to your right. Try to move slowly and with your breath. After a few breaths, you'll change sides, twisting over to your left. So press down into your feet and sitting bones, draw your spine long. See if you can soften through your jaw and eyes as you twist. We'll repeat this several times in each direction, just working to feel a firm foundation through your sitting bones and your feet, using the hand behind you for additional support if needed. See if you can really feel the movement of your spine when you breathe, the extension when you breathe in, and the softening as you breathe out. Feel the ground underneath you. And try to move through the middle part of your spine rather than just quickly jerking your neck and head around. Often it's tempting to just move the neck and head, but see if you can find this rotation from your stable base. So move in sequence from the lower spine, which won't rotate a lot, through the middle spine and gradually to the upper spine. So the head and the neck would move last in the sequence. The more you relax and breathe in this twist, the more range you may find, but prioritize just kind of a smooth, easy flow of breath rather than a deep twist. So less effort with your muscles and more of a priority for just experiencing a lengthening of the side body as you breathe in, and maybe just a soft quality as you breathe out. After working both sides several times, return to center and just sit and breathe, noticing the sensation of breath around the front, sides, and back of the rib cage. And now we'll move into a more sustained hold of the twist on each side. So setting yourself up in a range that you feel you can in fact sustain. Just keep feeling the feet pressed gently against the ground, the sitting bones pressed firmly against the ground, and a nice even distribution of weight between the left and right sitting bones. And the hand is there behind you for support if you need it. Your forearm pulling against the shins enough to keep the spine upright. As you breathe in, feel the right side of your body lengthening, and as you exhale, feel the right side soften. It may be that it's easier to twist further when you soften. And return your body to center and extend the legs out if you need to. You can stroke up and down the legs. You can rock the legs gently from side to side. And just take a comfortable sit. You might be cross-legged like me or kneeling. And again, just enjoy the sensation of breathing. You may feel the spine extend, so feeling your body lengthen as you inhale and soften as you exhale. You may feel the rise and fall of your ribs. You're welcome to take more time with these pauses in your own practice, pausing the video anytime you feel like it. And the next pose we'll move into is called Anahatasana. So the hips are stacked over the knees, the feet pressed firmly down, and your elbows and forearms rest on the ground, fingers spread wide. You can rock the hips side to side a little bit to stretch through the sides of your body, and then see if you can let the upper back soften so that your chest melts down towards the ground, descending towards the mat beneath you, but your hips stay lifted. And this may require you to firm your belly a little bit so you have some support. Keep a firm connection to the ground through your elbows, wrists, and hands, and an equally firm connection to the ground through your feet so your hips don't fall forward, which will put a lot of weight in your elbows and wrists. You might want to stay with that Anahatasana that I demonstrated, but the next pose is called Sphinx. And to come into Sphinx pose, you would come down onto your belly as I've done here, take a little wiggle rock side to side to soften the legs and really even to soften your bum. So everything below your navel feels relaxed, heavy against the ground. Elbows and forearms can provide a stable base of support in this little back bend. And you're welcome, as I've done here, to rise higher if you need a little bit more of a back bend. Just notice if coming up higher makes your body feel rigid, especially the legs or the bum, or if you have to overly tense the belly to support a more upright posture. If your head and neck start to feel stiff as you maintain the pose, then you could do as I've done here and make prayer hands so you have a resting place for your head. And you can also lift your feet away from the ground if you want a little bit more extension through the hips and spine. You'll see here that even though I'm maintaining a still pose, that you can see my body moving with my breath and subtle movements through the hips and spine. And that's the kind of posture that you want, right? Enough structure to support the pose, but a smooth, easy flow of breath. So if you're starting to feel local strain or fatigue, then come down to one of the earlier variations of the pose that I demonstrated. Again, you could pause and stay in the pose longer, but when you're done, you'll come down to rest against the ground and see if you can feel the wave-like ripple of your spine in the aftermath of this pose. You may notice a little bit more movement around the base of your spine, a little wave that rocks the top of the pelvis and the bottom of the spine. Again, enjoy that pause for as long as you like, and then when you're ready, you can come back to child pose, perhaps toes tucked under as mine are, so that you get a little pressure through the base of the toes, a little stretch for the feet. And then you'll come through to a sit. And I'm going to demonstrate several variations and options for this forward fold. In the fold, I'd like you to initiate the fold by tipping your pelvis, the front rim of the pelvis, towards your thighs. So rather than surging forward with your head and shoulders and neck, work on that forward tilt of the pelvis. I'm demonstrating some different positions for your arms. And of course, it would be an option to straighten your right leg if that was comfortable for you. Sometimes the bent leg variation I demonstrated first just makes it a little bit easier to find the forward tilt of the pelvis and the forward fold in the pose. And sensation here might be through your inner legs or at the base of your spine, depending on how you fold. If it's comfortable, of course, you can bring the arms in front of you and fold a little more deeply towards your leg or towards the ground. If you feel tension accumulate in your upper back or neck or shoulders, then sometimes it's nice to just rock a little bit and shake some of that tension loose. And I really like to follow my breath, waiting for permission to explore more range. So if I feel tension or strain in the breath, I'll back away. And if I feel ease, I'll perhaps explore further. And this just offers another variation, a little twist over the straight leg side, in this case, your right leg. Again, if an extended right leg didn't provide you enough support or made it difficult to fold, I love this variation where you just use the leg to drape yourself over. So the flexion of the spine is supported and your breath can be easy. Coming out of the pose, always nice to take a little pause and let your body respond. And then sometimes it's nice to rock a little or straighten the legs. Anything that feels good in transition. And then you'll set up for the second side of the pose. So you could have your left leg straight from the very beginning if you know that's comfortable for you, or you could bend it as I'm demonstrating, tipping the pelvis forward. The hands pressing back and down behind you can assist with that. And you might keep your hands there for the whole pose, using the leverage of your hands to tip the pelvis forward towards your thighs. But if you have a little bit more range through the low spine and pelvis, then of course you could bring your hands forward as I'm demonstrating, using your elbows, your forearms, or your hands as a base of support. And just notice that I'm moving quite slowly, so there's no urgency to get to my legs or to get to the ground. In yin postures, time and gravity are prime movers rather than muscular effort. So you're just responding to your body getting heavier and softer and the pull of gravity towards the ground. You'll notice my feet are not flexed. I have a more relaxed ankle and foot on the left side. And I'm just repeating here the demonstration of bending that left leg to give you a little shelf to fold over. And sometimes that's much more relaxing for the spine. Again, you could hit pause and stay longer, but when you are done, come up and perhaps give the legs a little shake and the shoulders a little shimmy. Bring yourself to a comfortable sit. And again, just feel the sensation of breathing.